get this ball rolling. Week 5, you guys. I'm gonna have to scoot back a touch. Okay, so we have our check-in for homework last week. How did meal prepping go? Were you able to get at least one meal doubled down? So we talked about a few different techniques. You can scroll back up and listen to those different techniques as a recap. It was, these are the common things I do. Either doubling down or tripling down on a recipe you're already doing, which I did this week, and I wanted to share a few fresh ideas with you before we move on. I did a white chicken chili. You can look up a healthy white chicken chili recipe with fresh avocado on the top, and I usually try to add some sort of veggies in the mix. My husband didn't love it, but I had shredded carrots on hand, so I tossed some shredded carrots in. Something that might mix in a little bit better with chili could be cauliflower. So I need to definitely up the antics with some frozen cauliflower to keep on hand. So that's a great option to toss into chili or soups that you're making. Another component of the meal planning was the 1 to 4 method, which is picking one meat that you cook a big batch of, and then you use it in like 4 different meals, or you could do 2 different meals technically and just stagger them through the week to make it even simpler. So what I did was a lean beef, and I did 2 or 3 pounds, something like that. So just put 2 pounds beef, and I cooked it all up and just lightly seasoned it with like a Mrs. Dash or something like that. And then from there, my microphone's pulling. Okay, so from there, we did some spaghetti squash. I baked that, so it was ready to go. Spaghetti squash spaghetti. So I was able to just add some of that to the spaghetti sauce. And then I also did some lettuce wraps, just taco wraps. And they were seasoned with like a Mexican. I think I talked about like Korean beef wraps on another video. So that was 2 ways that we use that. Another easy way, if you still have some left over, and this could totally be ground turkey too, or ground chicken, whatever. Dee doesn't really like ground turkey, so sometimes I'll mix like half beef, half turkey. And then I'll get just beef for a little bit, and then I'll sneak in some ground turkey again. Keep them guessing, right? But another great option that I have talked about before that is seriously just one of my favorites is Sloppy Joe's. Or you could do almost like a Philly cheesesteak. And the way that I do that is with the beef, you just add in, you'll saute up some onions and peppers. And I usually do a lot of them, so I get like a really good veggie serving with that. And then I'll just toss in a slice of cheese to, like a serving size of beef. I don't know if you've heard this before, is about the size of a deck of cards. So you can kind of visualize it. I'm a super visual person with the portions and portion control. And so anyway, I'll take either a half slice of cheddar cheese or a full slice and then just mix it all together there. And you can ditch the bun, you can have some lettuce on the side, but that Philly cheesesteak is like really good. That sounds really good to me right now. So anyway, here's some dinner ideas. I hope that helps. I've been super into just an open-faced deli sandwich, and I think it's because like I can't have deli meat. You know, I can get the regular turkey breast, roasted turkey breast while I'm pregnant and have that. So that's what I've been doing. But I think because I can't have it, technically my brain's like, deli. So that's been at the top of my list, but kind of random and funny. And then for breakfast, I've been a little burnt out on eggs because I went through an egg kick for like a month. And so I've been doing yogurt, and I've been doing oatmeal as well. So again, just a few ideas for you for meal prepping. Breakfast, I don't typically meal prep because it's just so quick and easy. But if you feel like your mornings are getting overrun, you should absolutely just make a batch of hard-boiled eggs that you can take to go. Make some of the cups of like almond milk and chia seeds with berries in it that just soaks overnight, and then that's ready to go for you. So be smart with your schedule. Know where you're tight on time. And dinners, I'm always tight on time, especially since we have kids and extracurricular activities, and I train sometime in the evenings. So when I don't plan ahead, we bump into issues. And that's when, you know, frozen pizzas that are in the freezer pop out, or that swing by of a restaurant or something like that. So meal prepping and that forethought, as you guys know, is half the battle, more than half the battle. Okay, so keep it up. Keep on meal planning. It's super important. And we're going to move on from there. I got to go to my cheat sheet over here. I better just bring it. I can't read that small font without my glasses. Okay, so yeah, shoot me an email, comment below. I'd love to hear some meals that you tried this last week, especially if you went in with going for it with dinner, because I know that 75% veggie and 25% protein can be a new concept. And so you really have to explore and try it out. All right, so we got a couple things on mindset again. One of my favorites. I'll keep that 101.5 up here. I'll try to write big. So mindset, fuel. I'm gonna fuel my body for what it needs to do. That is a powerful statement, for real. So if you're a stay-at-home mom, what does your body need to do? It needs you to feel good so you can have clarity of mind, so you can teach your kids how to eat well, so you can run your household without being cranky and having highs and lows in energy, right? I find that, and this is myself included, that stay-at-home moms, when you're not actively trying to eat healthy, it's just like go to the cupboard and grab little pick-me-ups through the day, because we get tired. We get so tired, and you know, dealing with toddler tantrums and teenage tantrums and everything in between. It can be very emotional. Even more so, I felt like it was harder to eat healthy as a stay-at-home mom than it was when I worked part-time. So I was actually kind of in both places, full-time mom and part-time at work. And when I'd go to work, it was so easy to pack healthy things for myself to take. But when I was home, I would be snacking all day, and a lot of it was emotional, right? So keeping that in mind, no matter if you're in the workplace or at home, fuel your body for what it needs to do. And that's really going to help gain clarity when you go pick up something to eat and you're like, do I need this? Does my body need this? What do I have later? You know? And I also wanted to add the twist of, if you exercise in the evenings, or when I'm not pregnant, I usually will have a soccer game once a week in the evenings. So does that mean that my dinner, because I'll do like a pre-dinner around 4, should I keep carbs cut out of that and keep with my 75-25 percentages? No, I got to fuel my body for what it needs to do. If I'm going to run and keep up in a 90-minute game, I need to add some carbohydrates to that pregame meal. Okay, so maybe before you're leaving your office or your home and you're gonna go to the gym or get your workout in the evenings, maybe you need to add an extra small snack like we talked about and get some carbohydrates into your system. So you gotta fuel your body for what it needs to do. And I have helped you do that for a typical normal day. We have the protein and carbohydrates and the breakfast. Remember our little clock of plates? And so I have helped you with this, whether you realize it or not, to get through your day with good energy, with satiety and lasting satiety. Okay, so hopefully that strikes home with you. What I'd like you to do for these type of affirmations is either plug it into your phone and schedule it so you're actually going to see it, or you can write it on a sticky note and place it somewhere that you are going to find, or not find it, that you'll see it every day. So bathroom mirror is a great place for us ladies, or maybe it's in the shower or on the back of your door, you know, if you have like a potty room, something like that, where you can see it and read it and really make it hit home. So there's kind of 3 levels. I wasn't going to get into this, but I'll just spend a quick second on it. There's kind of 3 levels to making our minds connect with what we want it to do, because we have this deep, deep, deep unconscious brain. I mean, it's conscious, but it's our unconscious, right? It knows what's happening. We don't. So the unconscious state, and a lot of our identity is in this unconscious state. Then we can, and it talks to the subconscious. Am I spelling that right? I'm sorry if I'm not. And then you have your conscious thought. Conscience, right? Science. Come on, Audrey. I went to college. Okay, so we have our conscious state. So this is our awakened state. And this is where we talk and we can say, hey, I'm going to fuel my body for what it needs to do. And the more times we say this, the more it's going to drive into the subconscious. And we've got like our habits here, right? So a lot of this is just our habitual things happening. And so the more we drive these positive thoughts, like, I love my body, I'm going to change my body, or I'm going to eat healthy because I love it, not because I hate it. I want to take care of me. I want long-lasting health. Yeah, all of those positive affirmations, the more we drive it here, the more it's going to sink in and change our subconscious. And then if we can really drive those even deeper, so we start to act like we're saying, we actually start to get habits that help us fuel our bodies for what it needs to do. Then we start to identify with being a healthy eater. And it's not this super conscious effort to grab carrots instead of chips. It's just like, oh, what goes with my sandwich? Where's my carrots? It starts to become an identity for us. And that's the goal. And this is a hard transition. This takes a long time because it took a long time to really direct it in the state that you're in now. And I think people forget that. I mean, we have our habits that run most of our day. The way we drive, the way we brush our teeth, the way we get up in the morning and walk to the bathroom. So all of these things kind of make us who we are, but it's not unchangeable. And that's what's so cool and empowering, is that if you've struggled with weight for a long time and you've struggled with the identity of not eating well, and you have these habits that have been in place for 10, 20, 30, 40 years, maybe 50 years, you can still make progress on it, and you can still slowly change those habits to identify with being a person who eats healthily, okay? So I think that's pretty cool and empowering. My other piece of the mindset is to focus on what you can have. And like I was saying with my deli sandwiches right now, my brain thinks I can't have it. So what do I want? I want those freaking deli sandwiches. So you gotta focus on what you can have. And that's why I don't say, don't eat chips, don't eat cookies, don't eat cake, don't eat sweets, cut it all out, cut out the pop, cut it out. We know that these things are bad for us, and yet we fall into that habit of eating them again, even if we are really good and can cut them for a month or two. So as you guys know, the style that I love, love, love to teach is just baby steps. So if you drink 2 cans of soda a day, if you were my client, I would say, okay, so like between soda and maybe those afternoon chips, do you think that there's something that we could change? Like with any of that? Do you super love all of those things? Usually I don't think I've ever had someone be like, no, I can't. Like, I love all of those. Usually something they're like, you know what? If I went to 1 can of soda, I don't think I'd even notice. I think it would be fine. I think it's just turned into a habit to grab that second one. And so immediately their brain's like, I can still have soda. I can still have my chips. But you know what? I'm going to make it a little bit better. I'm going to make my diet just a little bit better. And then you roll with that for a week or 2 or 3 or however long it takes to say, you know what? I've been feeling pretty good. I don't need those chips. I'm good. I'm going to keep my can of soda though because I super enjoy it and it's kind of a stress reliever at this point. And I'd say, okay, let's roll with that. And then you work with that for a little bit. And I'll talk in a future session about what I like to call your comfort corner. And I'm going to save that for another day. But as you can see, when you can have it, when it is still on the table for you, you are going to get my eraser again. You're going to stop battling with yourself. Right? You don't have your brain saying, oh, I can't have that, but I really want it, but I really want it. Our willpower, this is pretty cool, you guys. Our willpower has been scientifically proven to be kind of similar to a battery. So it's there. And in the morning, right? I know you've seen this in your life. You're like, this is my day. I am going to rock nutrition today. Breakfast is great. Lunch is great. And then stressful things happen at work and your willpower just starts to go down like your phone battery. And by the end of the day, you're like, whatever, I'm going to go to my drive-thru and I'm going to get my favorite meal because I deserve it, right? Or whatever it is. Like your willpower just drops. One of the studies that they did, this is just kind of cool, the psychologist that I was reading in this particular nutrition book, he wanted to feel the willpower practice on himself. And so he put a chocolate chip cookie in front of him while he was working on his laptop. So it was just right there in view all morning long. And he was like, I was fine without it. And then it just like kept being in my train of thought. And I would catch myself reaching for it, even though I didn't want it. Like I didn't even feel like eating it. I would catch myself, like I would even be touching it sometimes before I'd realize, whoa, stop. I don't want that flippin' cookie. And so anyway, that cookie remained there all day. He did an excellent job. And then he went out to grab a coffee mid-afternoon or evening, and they had cookies at the coffee shop, and he ordered one like in an instant because his willpower had been totally drained of that freaking cookie on his counter. So, and that's going to be a tip that I share on another day. I think that's next week. Anyway, how to help you with that line of sight. Those hunger cues of line of sight is what I'm trying to say. So pretty interesting how our brain works with that. So keep that in mind. So the less you have to battle, the more you're going to stay on track, right? Next step is that it just gets rid of guilt. Guys, if I felt guilty for every cookie I ate, it would just be a downward spiral. But I choose. Like this last weekend, my father-in-law brought us over, they're called batch cookies, and these suckers are huge. So I cut one into a quarter, and I was like, sweet, it's my treat. I'm going to chow on this. And it was so good, and I was so grateful for it. And then I was able to move on. And then those stayed on my counter. And later that evening, I was like, okay, I'm going to have the other half of my half. So I dove in and I enjoyed it and it was guilt-free. And I was like, okay, tomorrow I'm not going to have any cookies because I know that I can't remember what I ate. It wasn't an awesome day, I'm going to be honest. But I had that half of a cookie, which is probably a normal serving size of a cookie. And I was just guilt-free though. That's my point. So you eat your treat and you move on, and then you balance your diet as you go. So the next day, I think I did pretty well, and I felt pretty good about it. And then I moved on to the next day, right? So being present with your food, having no guilt about it. It's going to change your life, you guys. And when you're trying to eat those veggies and eat that balanced wheel, as you know, we've drawn out so many times, it just all makes it so much better. My thing is cookies. Maybe yours is ice cream. Maybe it's Takis. My son's gotten into Takis. You'll have to drop a comment below if you are a Taki lover. And then I'm just going to end with this quote. When you change, let's see. When you change your I can'ts into I can, you will soon say, I did. All right. So again, just bringing that mental game along with our nutrition is a huge piece. And that's why I spent 2/3 of this video talking about the mental piece, the mental component. And I think that's what does make me unique. Sorry if that was loud on the mic. Because I'm not just a personal trainer, I'm a behavioral coach as well. And I've seen the biggest changes since having this training for myself with how to talk to people and how to get these lasting changes to happen. And so keep this in mind, that you can have whatever you want. We're just going to start to pick and choose. We're going to start to say, you know what? I don't think I need ice cream with your birthday cake tonight, even though we're all celebrating, but I am going to have a small slice of cake, please. That would be great. And that's awesome, okay? Stuff like that is such a big win, and people really overlook it. And it's either have no cake and ice cream at your favorite nephew's birthday, or give me like 4 of them, okay? So we're gonna find that happy medium for our brains to stop battling us, for us to be able to eat guilt-free and enjoy those sweet things in life, along with finding new and wonderful recipes to try out for our lunches and dinners and keep it all balanced, okay? Cool. You drop any comments, you have questions or anything like that. Okay. Tips and tricks to stay on track. So this one I'm going to split into this week and next week. And these should really help. They're kind of catchphrases, if you will. So you've already heard me say this one. Water for the win. Start your meals with water. Wake up in the morning, drink water. Water before bed, water, 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 all day long. Swim in it, drink it, chug it, enjoy it, okay? Number 2, you've definitely heard me say this as well. Lead with the veggies. Okay? Veggies are extra credit at breakfast, like I always say. Otherwise, try to get those veggies into your snacks, get them in your lunch, and definitely get them in your dinner, okay? Set a goal. If you haven't been nailing veggies just yet, set a goal for how many per day would be a push goal, but doable for you. So if you're getting none, maybe 1 or 2. If you're getting 2, try to get 3 or 4. And if you live in a bigger body, you know, those veggie servings could go up to 6 or 8. And if you're trying to like bulk up for fitness or bodybuilding, 6 to 8 servings is amazing, okay? Next up, we have track it to lose it. Now, this is where we're most likely going to spend the rest of our time today. I'll toss one more on there. Last one, this one will be quick. Scale as our sidekick. Okay, this is the foundation of my nutrition program that I have created and taught to many, many, many clients. and gotten amazing results. So this is the base. The other tips and tricks that I'm going to share next week, definitely stop back in with us. We're going to have an awesome time. Will help drive all these home. Okay, so we've definitely pounded those into your head within this first month, I think. I'm going to come back to this one. Scale is our sidekick. So I want to ask you a question. Is your scale your sidekick? Or is it more like the Pope or Bishop? Or your, is the scale deciding and telling you how you should feel about yourself? Is the scale emotional? Okay, so how is your relationship with your scale? I think we all have one that's a little bit different. And I want you to try to open up your mind to this idea that the scale is our sidekick. Clinical studies have shown over and over again that those who weigh themselves frequently, however frequently that is, it kind of depended from study to study, but some of it, most of it was honing in on like every day or every few days, okay? Those who stepped on the scale more frequently maintained weight, or they even do weight loss studies and then have people, who's still stepping on the scale. And it was like 4 or 5 years later, people had maintained that weight loss. Whereas in the same initial weight loss study, people who did not continue stepping on the scale had gained the weight back and more. So the scale really is our sidekick. It's something there, it's external, and I know it's so frustrating because it's actually a negative reinforcement, meaning when you see the numbers go down, you're usually happier. So it's this weird relationship just because it's an invert relationship anyway. But just remember that you are beautiful the way you are. You're wonderful the way you are. And it's a good thing if you want to get healthier, but change your body because you love you. And it doesn't matter what the scale says. And I can't say this enough. That number, it doesn't matter. It doesn't reflect who you are, how capable you are, how amazing you are, how beautiful you are. It doesn't tell us any of that. It has nothing to do with your personality and with your smarts and with just how incredible you are as a human. And so as you start this new relationship with your scale, I want you to just think that it's your buddy, it's your sidekick, and we're going to be able to step on there, see numbers, and use it to start to reflect on food and how our body's responding. And this is a really cool part of the journey when you're able to open your mind up to that. And I've been able to work with so many people as they change this, mindset with their scale. They're able to step on and see, okay, I'm at 280 pounds. Last night, I ate really well. Well, I was at 280. Last night I ate well. Yesterday I ate really well. I'm already down to 278. Now, weight loss does not happen. I'm going to bring this up another time too, like straight down, right? Weight loss is like up, down, but the overall trend will be downward. But what was I getting at? Oh, and then maybe you have a day where you end up eating pizza. Okay, and you didn't have any other veggies around, so you just went all in with the pizza. And so that's a lot of salt for the body. You've got water retention. You felt bloated overnight even. You step on the scale and you see, oh, well, I'm 279 today, and I was 278 yesterday. So it turns into this motivator of, hey, I need to lead with the veggies next time. And let me tell you what, I have had so many dinners where like it was pizza. It was a pizza night for my kids. Awesome, great, whatever. But I'll lead with the veggies and water and try to get like 3/4 of my plate, those veggies, and then I'll have like a smaller slice of pizza, but I'll get more full so I don't have 3 slices of pizza, just 1, and I'll still see weight loss occur. And it's so cool for my brain to see, hey, I lost weight and I still had pizza. Pizza's not the devil. So the more you can see those small wins, and I've had so many of those where I like felt like, you know, I did overindulge with a dessert. I was like, oh, I probably should have stopped a little sooner, you know? And then the next morning I'll step on the scale, but because I ate so well through the day and then I had those cookies or whatever it is, I still saw weight loss, okay? So you're gonna find how your body responds to food, and foods that used to be my favorite like aren't really my favorite anymore because I started to reflect how they made me feel, and I'd feel really bloated and gross and maybe a little heartburn after some other burritos. That used to be one of my favorites. And then I'd always see a weight gain afterwards too. And so my brain was able to connect, you know what, that tastes good, but it doesn't make me feel good. And my body didn't respond well for sure. So it becomes your sidekick, okay? So back to the track it to lose it. This is gonna be our last point here. What I want you to do this week, this is gonna be your homework. Just need to double check time real quick. Oh, I gotta go going. So track it to lose it. What I want you to do is a simplified food journal. So if you have a sandwich, you're just gonna say like 1 slice of wheat bread. I usually do plain yogurt instead of mayonnaise. Mustard was on it, tomatoes, lettuce. Oh gosh, there's a U there. So you can see I'm not getting super specific with portions just yet. You can go there if you want to, but a sustainable food journal, you guys, is going to be simplified like this. Even the wheat bread, I could leave that off. That's kind of easy to track, just 1 slice of wheat bread, whatever. And then just like side of carrots or whatever it is. So I want you to do 3 days of a food journal, just super simplified like this, but everything that pops into your mouth, I want you to write down, okay? If we were working one-on-one, I'd definitely help you review that food journal. If you wanna hire me as your accountability coach, we can absolutely have that conversation. Just email me, audrey@inspirestrongfitness.com, and we just do it digitally. And it's been super successful for people. Okay, so if you want someone to send this to and get feedback on your diet because you're really trying to hone in, we can get into it for sure. Okay, but 3 days, you're going to reflect on it. We'll reflect next week again on your findings. I will do this challenge as well. And we're going to do amazing things together as we continue to bring our mind along with our health and fitness journey. Okay, great job. So yeah, homework is track it to lose it. 3 days of tracking. Okay, make it a good day.